The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Henrik Bick. I'm with the communications team here with the Music Business Association. Hope you all are doing well as we kick off the new year. Hope that you had a safe, relaxing holiday season and that the first days of 2021 are treating you well with health, happiness, and as much sanity as we can grasp right now. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone for attending the first webinar of our 2021 Music Biz webinar series. We're really fortunate to have the global royalty payment experts from TuneCore and Payoneer here today to discuss how they've overcome the challenges and complexities of automated and electronic royalty payments and how they've used to expand their operations globally. Before I turn it over to the experts here and kick things off, I just want to give you a couple music biz related notes. The first is that we have our first major virtual event of the year coming up in just 2 weeks' time, Nylon Connect 2021, January 25th to the 28th. Those who know Nylon know what to expect, but for those who don't, we have 4 days of important conversations on all things that will be affecting the global music business coming out of 2020, the year with the COVID-19 pandemic, how the industry has adapted and evolved, and what's next. With some important conversations, not just on the operations of the business, but also some other things that are relevant to us as professionals, specifically diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, and mental health and well-being efforts as well. For more information and to register for the event, you can visit nylonconnect.com, and we hope to see you there. And as far as Music Biz webinars go, this will be our first session, but our next session that we've announced will be taking place Thursday, February 4th with Chartmetric. They'll be breaking down some of the nitty-gritty details of their latest H report, looking at the second half of music consumption data from the second half of 2020, with some pretty interesting stats about TikTok consumption, other news related to the COVID-19 pandemic, and much, much more. If you've seen the Chartmetric reports, you know what to, there's a lot of rich data there, so we hope to see you there to check that out. But now enough from me. I'm going to pass on to Eileen Molina from Payoneer, who's going to introduce the rest of today's panelists and kick off our program. I will be in the background in case folks need any technical support. And thank you both to TuneCore and Payoneer for being with us today.
Thank you. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Eileen Molina, and I'm a Director of Enterprise Client Success at Payoneer. I have a background in financial services, and I now focus on payouts, with the music industry being one of my focal verticals. Also here today is my colleague, Christina Urich. Christina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, Eileen. I'm the Director of Enterprise Business Development here at Payoneer. I've been in the financial technology industry for over 10 years now with a strong focus on the digital royalties space. I work primarily with our top enterprise digital partners, helping to grow their business in global outreach through Payoneer's tailored set of royalty payment solutions. I'm really excited to be a part of today's discussion about our partnership with TuneCore.
Great. So Payoneer is a leading cross-border payouts provider. Our platform streamlines global payments, making it very easy to literally pay anyone, anywhere in the world. And one of the companies we've helped reach their international demographic is TuneCore. Joining us here today from TuneCore are Matt Barrington, who is the Chief Operating Officer, and Faryal Khan Thompson, who is the Vice President of International. Now, if you're in this session today, you've likely heard of TuneCore as a household name in the music industry. TuneCore is the leading independent digital music distributor in the DIY space and is owned by Paris-based company Believe. Today, we'll be discussing TuneCore's success trajectory, how it positions itself as an industry leader, how it serves its artists, and finally, the role Payoneer has helped in the business. Matt and Faryal, would you guys like to introduce yourselves as well?
Sure. Thank you, Eileen, and thank you, Christina. My name is Matt Barrington. I am the Chief Operating Officer of TuneCore. I've been with TuneCore now for about 10 years. Prior to that, spending some time in Marsh & McLennan in insurance services and TBWA advertising. I joined TuneCore in 2010, back when it was still the wild, wild west of the startup world. I've had a lot of different positions in TuneCore. We've definitely had a lot of successes. I've held various roles in TuneCore, and most recently being promoted from the CFO to the COO role. Fariel? Okay, I think we might be having some difficulties with Fariel. I'll give her an introduction, although I won't do nearly the justice that she would do to herself. Fariel was recently hired as a national. You there, Fari?
Sorry, can you hear me there?
Loud and clear.
Apologies, guys. Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Fariel Khan Thompson. I'm a newer addition to the TuneCore team, joining last year as the VP of International. I come from a localization and creative agency background where I've really focused on helping brands and teams scale into new markets and territories. So really focused on supporting TuneCore at the next stage of our growth to scale our international business, and excited to be with you all today.
Excited to have you. And also congrats on joining the TuneCore family. Another congrats, I hear that you guys are approaching your 15th year anniversary. So that's fantastic news. Matt, we'd love for you to take us back a little bit to tell us the trajectory TuneCore's had, how it's evolved from inception through its 15 years to the success it's landed at now.
Sure. So yeah, as you mentioned, we're coming up on our 15-year anniversary. We were founded in 2006. At the time, TuneCore really was looking to disrupt the industry. Technology was really driving it. We had e-music in the late 90s. We had smartphone and 3G technology, and I think it was around the turn of the century, actually the millennium. And then we had the original iTunes launch in 2001. TuneCore, was then founded in 2006 with the idea of really just disrupting it. We did that by introducing a flat fee for digital distribution service to get independent music onto digital stores like iTunes. The concept behind that is artists just pay a low annual flat fee per release, and they keep all the money collected from the stores. What this did was really remove the barriers and push aside all the gatekeepers by putting artists in the driver's seat of their own careers. Really democratize the music industry. Fast forward, in April of 2015, TuneCore was acquired by Believe. Today, our mission remains to best serve the independent artists as they begin and grow their careers. TuneCore empowers artists to sell their music online, to market themselves, and to really build a career, and all while keeping 100% of their revenue. We're all about putting the artist first.
Wow, that's impressive. So it sounds like TuneCore really identified a hole in the market for independent artists. It seems like independent music is everywhere these days, and artists have options besides trying to be signed by major labels.
Yeah, that's for sure. Today, independent artists are, undeniably making up a much bigger portion of the global music sales. If we look at a recent media study, it showed that the independent market is the fastest growing sector of the music industry. With digital revenues up, I think it was like 32%. They're up to 873 million in 2019, with really similar trajectories in 2020. And indie artists, they're continuously making significant headway in digital music market cap. One thing I'll also note, TuneCore recently announced this past October of 2020 that our artists hit a record-breaking milestone of 2 billion earned by our artists. That's cumulative over the life of TuneCore. If we think about that in another way, collectively, our artists are now earning an average of 1.2 million a day.
Wow. Just continuing on the record-breaking milestone of artists, there must be a reason that so many are gravitating toward TuneCore. What is it that makes TuneCore so different?
Right. I mean, so there's lots. So we've said it before, and it definitely bears repeating. With TuneCore, there is no middleman, unlike some other distributors out there. Many of which claim to pay 100% of their revenue, but in fact, they're actually distributed by or affiliated with third parties who take a percentage of that off the top. At TuneCore, we pay 100% of 100% of revenue from the stores directly to the artist. One of the other big differences is that we are owned by Believe, and we do have the advantage of being able to leverage that relationship in a lot of different ways. TuneCore and Believe together have a huge catalog, and thus we can then sign these direct deals with the digital stores, and purposes to get the best terms possible for our artists. Believe currently has operation in 45 countries, and many of them they are a leading music distribution company on par with the majors.
So what I'm hearing is that TuneCore helps artists make more money. That is just a huge, huge benefit. Ferial, I know that TuneCore has expanded aggressively on an international level over the course of the past year or so. Can you talk more about that?
Absolutely, happy to. So you're exactly right. We have expanded aggressively over the last year, and we now have operations in 10 countries and 3 major regions. So, from an international standpoint, we've got local members on the ground across France, Germany, Italy, the Belgium and Netherlands, India, Southeast Asia, South Africa, Central Africa, Latin America, US, Canada, and Russia. So rattling off a lot there, and that's really just where we've got local heads of TuneCore, which is really exciting. And we've actually tripled our local team in the last year alone. So, I think that's a pretty big testament to, how much we are investing in our international operations. And it also really supports the fact that we find it so important to support artists with dedicated local executives who not only speak the same language as our artists, but also live and breathe the same culture. Localization is all about the local artist experience, and we want to make sure that our artists have a phenomenal experience no matter where in the world they're based. Additionally, another exciting part of our business is that over the last 6 months, we have expanded the languages that TuneCore is available into 12 languages, with many more coming down the pipeline soon. Among our competitors, we have the most by far, and we're very happy to be the leading multilingual competitor in this space. I will also add that we are just really excited about talking soon about the partnership with Payoneer and how you guys have really helped us to enable that growth and support our aggressive international expansion agenda.
Thank you. And we see that a lot too, that importance of localization. It's just really the differentiator, I think. And given that a lot of the expansion has taken place just over the course of the last year, that must have been quite challenging. So Matt, back to you. Besides digital music distribution to services like Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and Deezer, just to name a few, what other services does TuneCore offer to artists?
Right, and like we always say, don't leave any money on the table. And TuneCore, we prioritize in helping our artists reach new fans and monetize their music everywhere possible. Not leave any money on the table. We do that through some other offerings. One is a YouTube monetization, where we collect on the sound recordings, in UGC through Content ID. Additionally, artists can get paid by allowing their, sound recordings in Facebook and Instagram to use to music on their platform. We have TuneCore Publishing Administration, which is a leader in the independent music publishing admin space. We collect worldwide publishing royalties for artists. Another great service, and probably lesser known, is a product called TuneCore Social, which really helps artists strengthen their social media efforts. It's powerful content creation, promotion and analytics tool, and it provides artists with a fast and easy way to grow and engage their audiences.
And that actually sounds really cool. It sounds like you're helping your indie artists really drive their own careers, do what they can do to advance. And that's just so different from the traditional model that we've seen. So let's talk a little bit more about that. What else do you guys offer these indie artists to help them along their careers?
Sure. Well, a big part of our offering is also the data. As far as data goes, TuneCore is known for providing the best reporting in the business. For us, it's about consistency, transparency, and integrity. The data not only informs artists, but it helps them make strategic release decisions. They can determine where their audience is, and they can make marketing decisions around live performance strategies. Obviously outside of the COVID era. I think by far that we're the most active in terms of education. We prioritize helping independent artists navigate best practices. We have regular webinars. Oftentimes we'll include guests from major partners, including TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, even Spotify, other key partners in the distribution and monetization cog. We post regular blog articles written by industry experts, and we also host regular Instagram live sessions with artists and producers that artists can learn from. One other thing that I'll note is that we offer best-in-class artist support. over the course of the last year, we prioritized reducing our response times for artist support inquiries. We've reduced it in multiples, responding the same day, and oftentimes, and actually, in fact, most times, within the hour. In expanding our artist support offerings, we also now offer support through social media, direct messaging. We offer local language support, which is, obviously instrumental in our international expansion. We'll be exploring live chat and possibly SMS, and in general, we'll continue to find ways to provide the best artist support for our clients. We're really focused on quality, overhauling our FAQs on our site, really to help our artists get the answers to their questions, more quickly, completely, easily. We recently introduced an AI tool to help searching our FAQs, a much better experience. It does that, it operates, I'll say, by surfacing the best and the most pertinent results. What has all this done for TuneCore? One thing that we're proud of is that we've earned a 4.4 star review on Trustpilot. And we do enjoy the best ranking of everybody in our peer group. And that's even with 3 times more the number of reviews than the others that are, the other players that are out there. One of the last things I want to mention as a differentiator is the opportunity for artists to be signed by our parent company, that we briefly touched on earlier. On a global basis, TuneCore artists have the opportunity to sign with Believe for distribution service deals. So far, since inception, over 260 artists have been signed to Believe. Actually, that's been over the last 3 years, not even since inception. It's an incredible testament to not only the talent of our artists, but the testament to the synergies of our companies.
Wow, it's really clear to me all the advantages that TuneCore offers. So let's talk a little more about how Payoneer works with TuneCore. I believe we started working together about 1.5 years ago. What was it like before then, and how has it been since?
Sure, it may even be longer than that. It feels like we've partnered with you guys for a long time, and that's a good thing. Previously, TuneCore, we worked directly with artists to determine payment. Artists would have to choose their form of payment, whether it was a check, PayPal, or a direct transfer, a direct bank transfer. Internationally, we could only offer PayPal, which could be problematic because, as many know, PayPal didn't necessarily have the adoption rate in certain countries. It was a lot more work on TuneCore's part. There were hurdles involving verification, fraud detection, quite frankly, just a lot of legwork in getting the money out to our artists. Since we partnered with Payoneer, we're able to streamline that process immensely. What does that mean from the TuneCore side is that we no longer have to deal with verifying payment information, which is huge, and many of the other logistics around getting the artists money in their pockets. So as a company, we've been able to reallocate a lot of the resources that were priorly allocated to doing a lot of those logistical tasks. For the artists, it means that they now have a lot better options. They can just be paid via check. In some instances, they can still choose PayPal, direct bank transfer, global bank transfer, or through a prepaid card.
Nice. And I mean, we've been so excited to work with you guys throughout these couple of years. So it's been quite a roller coaster, and seeing you guys, your successes, it's just amazing. So we've gotten to the point of, we've offered you a lot of other products, and Variel, I'd love to talk a little bit more about that particular international expansion, because that is one of our value add propositions that we work with our clients. And can you touch a little bit more as the VP of International?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to. So again, localization is very important to TuneCore. And, we really want to speak to our artists in their local languages and relate to them by way of their own cultures. So, from an international perspective, what working with Payoneer means to us is that TuneCore can pay artists in most local currencies that exist globally. And because of Payoneer's scope and size, you guys obviously have very strong relationships with banks and financial institutions across the world, often having the best exchange rates, which simply put is just another way that artists make the most money with TuneCore, and ensure that they're not leaving any money on the table, as Matt said earlier. Another point that I'll highlight is, speed. That's very important to our artists as well. And we know that with working with Payoneer, that there's not going to be any bottlenecks on the Payoneer side in terms of the right people being receiving their funds in a timely manner. So those are just a couple of the really critical components and key highlights when dealing with people all across the globe with different financial institutions, that these are the things that are important to them, and how Payoneer's really helped us to address those pain points internationally.
Yeah, one thing I want to key off is something that you said, Fariel, is you mentioned we have 8 fully localized websites. What that translates to on TuneCore is we work with 6 different currencies. So we have 8 websites, 6 different currencies. We've got artists all in every corner of the world, and that's where Payoneer really comes in. Payoneer allows artists to withdraw money that they've earned through TuneCore on those 8 websites, 6 currencies, from a choice of 150 different currencies across 220 countries. I'll emphasize again that Payoneer takes care of all the fraud detection. They run artists through the artist data, their information through a series of fraud detection through, I think it's like around 40, I should say, separate databases, obviously including OFAC and the likes, to ensure that they are who they say that they are. Obviously, we're not transacting with, with unsavory individuals. And they have a series of proprietary algorithms that they use to check for fraud as well.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly, Matt. And I think that, for us, just to piggyback off of what you said, it's definitely a concern, especially dealing with artists from all over the world. It's a challenge for TuneCore to deal with local payment issues, and the fraud components you just mentioned, because, it's not our core business or where we really want to be focusing our time and energy. And I think by relying on Payoneer, we are able to know that those are things we do not have to worry about, and we get the time back to do our jobs and really focus our energies where it matters most for us to drive our business forward. But we know that that's a component that's going to keep our clients, happy and continuing to partner with TuneCore.
That's music to my ears. I'm so happy that we're able to provide you a value and to hear about your growth, not only in the last 15 years, but when we've started working with you, we've just seen this exponential growth, and it's exciting for everyone. I'm sure it's exciting for you guys, but it's definitely exciting with us. So, as a partner, we're behind you all the way. So, given that we've shared so much information, I'd like to open this up, to the rest of the audience, see what questions you have. We did cover a lot, so feel free to just click on the Q&A. But I do see that we have a first question, actually for Payoneer. Are there any exciting upcoming changes that could benefit TuneCore artists?
Oh, I can take that one, Eileen, and that's a great question. We do have a lot of exciting developments in 2021, and I'm happy to share more about our new product offerings. Probably most applicable to the royalty payment space would be the announcement of our 1042 tax product launch. We will now be offering 1042 tax filings and tax withholdings data based on country, along with additional support services for both W-8s and 1042s. And keep in mind, this is in addition to our W-9 and 1099 support. It's a really exciting development in light of the new tax regulations I'm sure many of you have seen for music royalties that came out in 2017. Additionally, we're excited to announce new product sets in the merchant services space. Payoneer acquired a payment orchestration company called Optile over a year ago, and we now offer services to manage global PSPs and ensure the most streamlined, low-cost, and efficient approach to our partners' payment acceptance. We'll be offering more on the pay-in side, so definitely stay tuned on that front over the next year. And finally, we'll be launching additional services around bulk currency conversion and FX, wallet as a service, and more risk support solutions, just to further align on the mitigation of fraud with our partners. Just a lot of exciting developments, so keep us top of mind, and we'll be announcing those soon.
Fantastic. Thanks, Christina. I do have one here for TuneCore. Will TuneCore be working with their writers on payments via the Mechanical Licensing Collective for uses in the US?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. Will TuneCore be working with their writers on payments via the Mechanical Licensing Collective for uses in the US?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're referring to the the new directive and MLC. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, I guess, where the question is going. I mean, and yes, we will be collecting all mechanicals.
voila, the answer. If
It-
you guys want to get a little bit more specific, please go ahead on the questions.
Yeah, or maybe I guess maybe try to keep it on the topic of really just international expansion.
Yeah. Well, we have one here that's who do you consider to be your closest competition? I mean, that's it's a good question, but it's so big. It's like it's a big industry. I don't know if you guys want to take a stab at this at high level.
I mean, it's a big industry. It's a small world, though. You know, listen, I'm not going to say who we think our biggest or I guess most threatening competition is, but you know, I think we have a lot of industry people on this call, and I think, you know, listen, we all know who the competitors are and who the players are out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll add to that a little bit without getting myself in hot water here, but just say that, you know, I think for us, you know, we try not to look at it that way. You know, our business is unique. Like, again, like I said, we are investing heavily in our international markets, and locally, you know, we really want to speak to people on the ground, no matter where they're based. And, you know, competitors can look different from market to market and country to country. So, you know, it would just be such a mixed bag, you know, if we were to drill down at that level. But, you know, like to think that, you know, TuneCore is really continuing to lead the way and hold that top spot, you know, for from a multilingual perspective, as we mentioned earlier.
Great. Another one. I'm curious about how many artists in total work with TuneCore globally.
I'm going to pause on that. So listen, we are a privately held company. You know, some of the information is out there. You know, some information we can share and some we can't. I'm not sure that we can share that information, so I'm sorry. I'll say it's significant, and I'll say that we've been seeing very significant traction with our international expansions through customer acquisition.
Yep, nothing to add there.
Oh, I don't think we can hear you, Eileen.
Oops, apologies. The 2020 and 2021 catchphrase. What makes Payoneer the best payout partner for TuneCore compared to other alternatives for digital payments? Okay. Matt,
Sure.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, listen, that's a great question. And, you know, when we were looking for a partner, this was a few years ago, obviously the landscape was changing pretty drastically. You know, you know, Payoneer, you know, we talked to a few different partners, we'll say. And again, I don't want to name, you know, any Payoneer's competitors specifically. The thing that really put Payoneer over the edge was two things. Number one, you know, they were an early adapter of the W form compliance. And that was a great offering. That was a great service. I think the partnership was another one. They were, you know, had a lot more reach than a lot of the competitors, definitely from an early stage. But the way the relationship was structured was really beneficial. You know, they really truly did work with us as a partner. They listened to us, they listened to our input, and they listened to our problems, and they provided solutions for our problems. I would say also from an implementation standpoint, they were phenomenal, very structured, you know, full project teams, fully capable, fully adept, you know, managed and communicated all along the way, you know, very successful. You know, even early on, I remember going to your offices in, you know, in Manhattan, and you know, we even got a tour of your top-notch customer care departments. And I remember seeing, you know, your actual customer care departments in operation, and that definitely gave me a lot of confidence, you know, that you guys were going to be able to support our customers, because that's the one thing that was a really big decision for us. Is we were used to doing all of this ourselves. You know, we control the relationship with our customers, and you know, we were essentially turning over a part of that to a third party. And so, you know, customer support was really a big consideration for us.
Yeah, and you know, I long for the days that we can bring you back to the office. I long for those. But just to add a little bit onto that, you know, it's so great partnering with you guys, because obviously you guys we get all your information from you, and we hear, like, you know, what your qualms are, and we can build out things that are very industry specific. You know, we get a lot of calls with integration teams and developments, and you know, whatever's top of mind for you is top of mind for us. And you know, we've expressed this many times, but it's just, again, like such a pleasure to work with you guys and really like sync up on what's happening in this vertical.
Yeah, likewise.
let me see. Okay, guys, I think if no one else has any other questions, I think that's it. I don't know if there's anything else left on the panel. Anyone?
There was one last thing I was curious about. I'm curious about TuneCore and Believe. I know Believe isn't as well known in the US, but they have a large presence outside of the US. Can you explain other ways Believe's ownership benefits TuneCore and the artists and labels the company services?
Sure, I'll take this one. It's a great question. So, I touched on some of this earlier, but it bears repeating. Because we're owned by Believe, we do have a huge global presence, and a large global roster, as well as operations in 45 countries worldwide. We're able to leverage all those relationships to really achieve the best terms on behalf of the artists and labels that we service. So we're not coming to the table solely with TuneCore artists, which, in and of itself is a very large catalog, but we also have Believes, and really we have this just global brain trust is what I really refer to it. Believe is very revolutionary in a lot of ways. I'll take the moment to talk about some of the driving forces. These aren't just words, these are things that we're really embedding within the culture and we're driving not just internally, but externally. These are driving forces of respect, of expertise, of fairness, and of transparency. And these are principles that we really drive home on a global basis, externally and internally. We were acquired in 2015. Here we are in 2021. When we think about the Believe Group, it really is one big family, and we're really able to capitalize on a lot of those synergies. Not just the actual operational components, not just the leverage from the size of the catalog, but really just the people. Big difference. And I'm sure Fariel has a lot of things to say about the international as well. But just having that localized presence, really does make a significant impact.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that tee up, Matt. I would just add a little bit and piggyback on what Matt is saying, because, as we mentioned, now that TuneCore is in 11 countries and 3 major regions, and because we are available in over 150 stores and streaming partners worldwide, and we're adding new ones constantly, we give artists and labels greater access to audiences around the world. And always, as mentioned, 100% of 100% of their revenue goes back to the artists and labels. And so I just think that there's this, from an international lens and perspective, there is fantastic, synergies between our two groups. And I think it sort of benefits us in a way that, TuneCore is more widely known and recognized in the US versus Believe is more widely known and recognized, internationally. And together, we're able to leverage, that kind of awareness, respectively, to further cross-pollinate and ultimately offer, more services to our clients and be that one-stop shop solution to support artists at every stage of their career journey across both brands.
Fantastic.
Makes a lot of sense. Huge growth.
Great. So I think those are the only questions we have right now. From our side, we'd really like to thank the music business for hosting us today. To TuneCore, again, we love to hear your success, and we always love to hear how we're helping you on that front. And if anyone else has any questions on the forum, you can always check with Payoneer.com or reach out to us directly through the email that we're going to provide following the event.
And I just want to extend our thanks from the music biz side to Eileen, Christina, Matt, and Fariel. Thank you so much for taking the time today to discuss this important topic. Glad to have you here. And thank you to everybody who attended today. Looking forward to welcome you to future music biz events and webinars. Be sure to visit musicbiz.com and follow us at musicbizassoc on all socials for more information. Thank you all so much for being here and for presenting, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.